So from December 1st to December 25th, we made an advent calendar for the top 25 strongest living One Piece characters in the series right now. And this is a compilation of that list, with 25 being the weakest, and with 1 being the strongest character in the series right now. First, the rules for this list were pretty simple. The characters must be alive and active in the series right now. Any of the endgame characters like Emu and most of the Gorosei who have yet to do anything of note in the series will not be on this list. The concept for this list was actually inspired by Tamir's First, another One Piece content creator who did a similar concept on his channel, so be sure to check him out in the description. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into it. But starting us off at number 25 is most likely a shock to some of you. Crocodile. I know he's been beaten by base Luffy without the use of any hockey, but this was in the beginning of One Piece where Oda was just learning how to scale his characters, and hockey wasn't even on his radar at this point. Like, think about it, Crocodile is someone who can create sandstorms, sinkholes, and completely drain people of their bodily fluids.
Yeah, boy.
Now give this guy some armament hockey and you actually have a contender for the top 10 of One Piece. My guy even thought he was strong enough to take on Whitebeard at Marineford, so if nothing else, he's at least got the biggest balls in One Piece. He has even been given a bounty of almost 2 billion, and although we can't use bounties to power scale, it's still an impressive number and even higher than Zoro's bounty post Wano. But honestly, because we have yet to see him fight anyone truly noteworthy in the series post time skip, he has to stay in my 25th slot. And at number 24 of my top 25 list is a member of the Straw Hat Pirates and rival to Zoro. He is known for being the wings of the future Pirate King and one of the monster trio. Of course, it's Blackleg Sanji. I know this may seem quite low down for someone believed to be comparable in strength to Zoro, but when you compare him to the other powerhouses on this list, you will see that being number 24 is actually me being a bit biased. Like Sanji, although being very strong, is honestly nowhere near the level of characters like Garp, Blackbeard, or even King. Okay, maybe he's close to King, but not quite there yet. Yes, he's had a massive Germa upgrade in Wano and appears to have even more secrets lurking in his body than even he realizes at this point. But until they get flushed out and we see him take down someone truly powerful, he's gonna have to remain number 24 on my list. Like, as a Sanji fanboy, I would love to place him higher, but I just can't do so as of yet. But coming in at number 23 is a character that was first introduced to us way back in Water 7. He's a member of CP0 and a user of the awakened Neko Neko no Mi Devil Fruit. It's Rob Lucci. Lucci was seen recently to have the power to clash against a Gear 5 Luffy and is currently giving Zoro an extremely difficult fight in Egghead. His awakened Devil Fruit grants him an incredible increase in speed, strength, and agility. And when this is paired with his insane mastery over the Rokoshiki fighting style, he becomes a threat to pretty much anyone in the series, meaning his position as 23 in my top 25 is justified and may actually change to a higher position depending on the outcome of his fight versus Zoro. And up next on the list is number 22 and the last of the Lunarian race, King. King the Conflagration was one of the 3 all-stars of the Beast Pirates and the right-hand man to the strongest creature in the world, Kaido. His power was recently on display in Wano when he had his incredible fight versus Zoro, a fight I believe to be the best in that entire arc. King may have lost this fight, but his strength and wide selection of abilities most definitely would beat some of the story's all-time greats. Like, for example, King being of Lunarian descent means he is immensely resilient, with Queen even calling him a monster that could survive any natural environment. And in present time, King has been shown to be nigh on invulnerable during his fights, and this was him without invoking his Soul and Devil Fruit powers. So he is definitely deserving of that number 22 slot. Now moving on to number 21, and our first member of the D clan is Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, the Surgeon of Death. He has recently been given a bounty of 3 billion along with Kid and Luffy, which some have taken to mean that they are all equal, which is completely untrue and an absurd notion to even make. You see, although Kid and Law are incredibly strong, they are a far cry from being on Luffy's level. Now if Law gained the immortality that his fruit apparently offers, he'd easily take top 3 of not only the living characters, but also including the all-time greats. You see, Law's Devil Fruit is by far one of the strongest fruits in the series to date, for many reasons aside from the immortality that it offers. You see, with this fruit, Law gains the abilities that other Devil Fruit users have, such as teleportation, soul transfer, and barrier. There are also several more hidden within this OP fruit, so the position of 21 is very fitting for someone like him. Coming up next at number 20 on my list is the former 1st Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, Marco the Phoenix. Marco wields the Tori Tori no Mi model Phoenix, a mythical soul type Devil Fruit that grants him the power of a Phoenix. He can heal not only himself with his flames, but also his allies. When in Phoenix form, his speed and power are greatly increased, making him a threat for anyone in the air and on the ground. His Phoenix flames are said to be more powerful than any natural flame, and with this fruit being based off the mythical beast of Phoenix, some have theorized that he may actually have the ability of resurrection, but given that he's never been killed in the series, it's impossible to prove. So until that actually happens, he'll have to remain at number 20 on my list. Now moving on to number 19, we have a character that has recently suffered an embarrassing defeat at the hands of Shanks. But realistically, that was Shanks. He is the most broken character in the series, so I don't think it really shows just what this character is actually made of. The character I'm talking about is useless Captain Kidd. During his time in Wano, he awakened his devil fruit and with the help of Law took down the likes of Big Mom. This gave him a bounty of 3 billion as a result, which is the same as Law and Luffy. Now I personally believe if he and Law swapped places after leaving Wano and Law met Shanks and Kidd met Blackbeard, they both would have had a better outcome. And the argument can even be made that Kidd is stronger than Blackbeard post Wano, due to his awakened devil fruit and use of wide range attacks. But given his defeat and the fact that it's still unclear if he's even alive, he has to remain at number 19 for now. Now coming in at number 18 on my list is a character so beloved and missed, fans continuously make theory videos talking about why and how he'll return to this series one day. This character is Doffy Doflamingo, or the Heavenly Demon as he is also referred to as. He gained this nickname because of his Celestial Dragon status and the fact that he is one of the only Celestial Dragons to have ever eaten a devil fruit. Doffy with his awakened Ito Ito no Mi is easily one of the smartest and strongest characters in the series to date. You see, he was the most influential and successful on the world broker in the entirety of One Piece, going by the name of Joker. And his devil fruit grants him an ability called Parasite, and this insane technique allows him to control other people no matter how they resist, which obviously grants him an endless amount of slaves and human shields. And when you pair this with his genius intellect, he easily secures the 18th slot on my list. Quickly moving on, we have number 17, which is the former vice captain to the Pirate King himself, Dark King Rayleigh. Now during his prime, he'd be top 5, if not even top 3 in the series, but given the beatdown that Father Time has done to this man, we have to decrease his overall ability and strength. But I do believe he'd still be a decent match for anyone on this list, even in his old age. I mean, Shaku even stated that he was 100 times stronger than all the supernovas during Sabaody, which is insane to even think about. He was also noted to be one of the strongest swordsmen in the world of One Piece. He has all 3 types of haki, and his conquerors was stated to be twice as potent as Luffy's during the time in Fishman Island. This all means the 17th slot on my list is perfect for him. But up next on my list is number 16, Katakuri, the respectful legend himself. Being that he is one of my all-time favorite characters, it really makes me want to place him higher on the list, but given that he hasn't appeared in a series since Whole Cake Island, I can't possibly put him any higher than this. But with his mastery over both his future sight and his devil fruit ability, he easily has the potential to best even the greatest of all time. Like, he used his Paramecia type devil fruit in ways no other user ever could. By pairing it with his future sight, he basically became a Logia fruit user. Like, do you realize how crazy that is? This easily makes his position at number 16 justified, but with just one appearance in the series, he could easily be moved higher on the list. But now moving on, we have someone who you may find a bit hard to imagine as stronger than the likes of Katakuri. This of course is our number 15 pick, Zoro. Zoro recently awakened his advanced conqueror's haki in Wano and has been dubbed the King of Hell as a result. He is the right hand of the future Pirate King and soon to be the world's strongest swordsman. If he had a fight versus Katakuri, it'd most likely come down to who advances their skills first. For example, if he learned Future Sight before Kat learned Advanced Conquerors, then he'd win, which is very possible given the insane rapid growth rate that we've seen him on since the very beginning. At his current level, he is on par if not slightly above Whole Cake Luffy, who is someone who is strong enough to go toe to toe with Katakuri and also win. Kinda. It was a gifted win, but still a win nonetheless. But now coming in at number 14 is Admiral Green Bull, and I know many of you see him as weak after Shanks scared him off at the end of Wano. But as I always say, that's Shanks. He's beyond broken, and I don't think it shows the ability of any character when they're faced against him. Like, think about it. Green Bull with the Mori Mori no Mi can perform large-scale attacks and wipe out entire fleets on his own. He can regenerate his body like nothing ever happened. Not to mention, his strongest ability of all has to be the ability to drain his victims of all their bodily fluids. Green Bull is shockingly underrated at the moment. Like, you must remember that he wasn't given the Admiral position because he's weak. He earned this position through his power and achievements, and I actually believe he is one of the strongest characters in the series, but because we have yet to see what he's truly made of, we have to put him at number 14. But next on my list is finally one I think everyone can agree is perfect for number 13. It's Admiral Kizaru. Kizaru has the Pika Pika no Mi, which grants him the power of light. With this fruit, he can move at the speed of light and shoot lasers from any part of his body. And it was also revealed in Egghead that he can make light clones that perfectly resemble his looks and powers. He is a formidable enemy for anyone in the series, at least that's what we thought before he was beaten by Luffy in Egghead. But you see, after Kuma's flashback, many think this was all just a trick of some kind. Many claim that he will betray Saturn and save Bonnie at the end of Egghead. This is a theory I also believe and hope to see come true. Next on the list is quite the controversial pick, but I still believe he is one of the strongest characters to ever appear in the series. This is number 12, Enel. Enel is a victim of the early introduction. He appeared too early in the series to show his true power. He appeared at a point where scaling was an absolute joke and was beaten by Luffy as a result of this. It was stated by Robin in Skypiea that the Goro Goro no Mi is an invincible devil fruit with the power to destroy entire islands, which is what Enel did to the island of his own people before he took control of Skypiea. Enel is also believed to be the first character we see with both haki and an awakened devil fruit, easily proving that he's one of the strongest characters in the series with really only one weakness, rubber. So as long as he never runs into Luffy again, he will become the unbeatable god that he always wanted to be. But now that we've gotten a lot of the more controversial picks out of the way, let's move on to one of the characters credited with facing and defeating Shiki key the line. It's number 11, Sengoku. Sengoku alongside Garp is one of the most powerful Marines in history. Even Gold Roger and Whitebeard held him in high regard. After defeating a group of Marines, Roger commented that he was one of only 2 Marines that were actually worth his time, with the other of course being Garp. When Shiki was wrecking havoc in Marineford 22 years ago, Sengoku fought alongside Garp and were able to subdue him, whilst also destroying half the city in the process. And even at the old age of 79, Sengoku was able to defeat Jack, one of the top-ranking strongest members of the Beast Pirates. I mean, old or not, this guy is a monster and deserves number 11 on my list. But now let's discuss the only other Marine who was strong enough to earn Roger's respect. This is number 10, the hero of the Navy and Luffy's granddaddy, Garp. Garp in his prime fought Roger, Whitebeard and Sebek, and was said to be on par with all of them. But what's more, Roger stated that he and Garp almost killed each other a number of times in their fight, which is just insane to even think about. But even in his later years, he destroyed Hachinosu with a single punch called Galaxy Impact. Garp the Fist was later seen going toe-to-toe with his former pupil, Aokiji, a fight so intense it really showed the power of both individuals. But honestly, to me, number 10 actually seems kinda low. But with so many powerhouses in the series, it's impossible to truly label him any higher. Now next on the list is Garp's former pupil, number 9, Aokiji. Aokiji is a former admiral and now Blackbeard pirate. He left the Marines after his fight for the fleet admiral position versus Akainu. He may have lost his leg in that fight, but it doesn't seem to have slowed him down at all. He still had the power to face one of the top 10 strongest characters on my list, Garp, on level terms in Hachinosu. Aokiji is also believed to have an awakened Hiya no Mi Devil Fruit, which grants him the insanely powerful Logia ability of Ice. During his fight versus Akainu, they changed the entire landscape of Punk Hazard into a half-hot, half-cold wasteland, easily proving why he's number 9 on this list. But coming up next on my list is someone I'm actually gassed to see in the top 10, because this is the character I've been watching for the last 20 plus years, and to see him grow into a literal god before my eyes is honestly incredible. It's number 8, Luffy. Luffy needs no real explanation for why he's number 8 on my list. Just look at what he did to the strongest creature in the world, Kaido. My guy used him as a literal jump rope and skipped around like a child in a playground. I don't think there's ever been a disrespect worse than that in the entire anime universe. Quite frankly, the only ones I see stronger than Luffy at this point are the ones that he has yet to fight in the story. That's it, my guy is slowly becoming the GOAT of One Piece and I'm here for every second of it. Now quickly moving on, we have someone many forget is actually a member of the worst generation. It's number 7, Blackbeard. Blackbeard is the only man to have ever consumed 2 devil fruits and lived. He controls the Logia power of darkness and the Quake fruit that was once in the hands of the former strongest man in the world, Whitebeard. With the darkness fruit, he can quite literally remove a user's ability to use their devil fruit, which makes him a natural enemy for any and all devil fruit users in the series. But that's not all. Sengoku also made the claim that the Gorogoro no Mi has the power to destroy the world. Though there has been no real evidence to back this claim, but what was done in Marineford using this power, I can definitely see the potential of it. If Blackbeard gains his much anticipated 3rd devil fruit, he's easily number 1 this time next year. But now next on my list is the current fleet admiral of the Marines and the strongest Marine in the series right now. It's number 6, Akainu. Akainu is the current user of the Magu Magu no Mi, which is arguably the strongest Logia devil fruit in the entire series, as it literally makes the user's body lava. He is also credited with one of the most important moments in the story, the death of Luffy's older brother, Ace. After the Paramount War, he fought against Aokiji and won the fleet admiral position as a result. His immense power and twisted belief in his version of justice makes him a truly scary opponent for anyone in this series, which is why many, including myself, see his future fight versus either Luffy or Sabo as one of the most anticipated fights in the entire story of One Piece. Okay, so our next pick has some major spoilers for Egghead, so if you're an anime only or have yet to catch up to the manga, please skip this short. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about number 5, Saturn. Jay Garcia Saturn is one of the 5 Elder Saints of One Piece, and a user of a mysterious dark magic ability which some believe to be a devil fruit. Now this guy is so powerful that if you look him in the eye, it will cause you immense pain, forcing you to faint on the spot. Even the likes of Sanji wasn't durable enough to stand up against it. And honestly, at this point, it's hard to tell if even Gear 5 Luffy could do much against him. Saturn and all the Gorosei are looking overpowered as shit right now. But this is also the only Gorosei on this list, as the others have yet to appear in the story. Come back tomorrow and see who I believe will take down Saturn in the end. Okay, next on the list is the best dad in One Piece and the current holder of the number 1 flashback in the entire series. It's number 4, Kuma. And first off, I'd want to express just how unworthy we are for a character like him. Major spoilers ahead. He sacrificed his consciousness and became a government weapon just for the chance of saving his adoptive daughter, Bonnie. He was also told that under no circumstances was he ever to speak to her again, which also meant that he would never get to see her grow up or even see her healthy. But that's not all, as it was revealed that he was the one helping Luffy at every opportunity, be it Thriller Bark, Sabaody, or even post timeskip where he convinced Vegapunk to force him to watch over the Straw Hat ship. This was also one of his last wishes on this earth. It really is enough to make a grown man cry. Easily a number 1 character, but number 4 in terms of strength. I just hope he hurries his old ass up and puts Saturn into the ground. Okay, so up next is a character who's been in the top 10 of One Piece's strongest since the beginning of the story. And honestly, I do think this is the last year that he'll be in my top 3, for multiple reasons. One, whether he does nothing next year and gets moved down below somebody else, or he turns up in a big way and humbles some powerhouse and gets moved up above one of the others. It's number 3, Mihawk. Mihawk is a world-famous pirate who holds the title of the strongest swordsman in the world, and is a longtime rival of the strongest emperor of the sea, Shanks. He is currently a member of Cross Guild, but holds a bounty higher than his Captain Buggy. In fact, it is believed that he could have been a Yonko at any moment, but never had the desire for it. As a major Mihawk fan, I do hope that next year we finally see him destroy an admiral or somebody truly noteworthy. Now for the penultimate character, and it shouldn't really surprise you as to why he's number 2, given that he is considered by many to be the strongest in the entire series. It's number 2, Shanks. Red-haired Shanks is the strongest of the 4 emperors and wields a hockey so strong it paralyzed an admiral from miles away. He is said to have a long-time rivalry against Mihawk, the greatest swordsman in the world. Even if you're someone who puts Mihawk above Shanks, you can't deny that this last year has been incredible for Shanks' stock. For one, he humiliated Green Bull in Wano, and a slight spoiler, beat Eustace Captain Kidd in Elbaf. The Shanks copium is at an all-time high, and honestly, it's for this reason that the greatest swordsman in the world has to remain below him. Come back tomorrow for the reveal of the strongest character in One Piece, and one that will actually surprise many of you. Now, with both Mihawk and Shanks already being revealed as number 2 and 3, many are thinking that there's only one option left for number 1, Imu-sama. But honestly, I did consider putting her number 1 all the way up to like day 10, but then decided that because we have yet to see her really do anything in the series, I can't possibly put her at number 1 just yet. I mean, all we've seen her do is use one of Vegapunk's weapons to destroy an island. I mean, if you think that deserves number 1, then it should actually be Vegapunk up there, not her. But if not for Imu, then who could possibly claim the top position? Well, the answer may shock you, and it's from this point on that he will be cemented as my top dog in the series, until Oda proves me wrong. It's number 1, Dragon. I know he ain't done shit yet, but just wait, because 2024 is the Chinese year of the dragon, and it'll be the year that he shows the world he's not only the dad of a god and the son of a hero, but also a monster unlike anything we've ever seen in the series before. But you tell me, who is your top 25 strongest, and is Dragon in that group?